yokers with the rock. You physically couldn't hold me, I don't care if you pushing 40. You can never little bro me. Euro step like Ginobili, from young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats, circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's a reach. We ready? Who ready?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the One-on-One Sports Show on this Thanksgiving Eve of 2024. Good to be with you guys here on this Wednesday, and as everyone's preparing for their Turkey Day NFL games on Thanksgiving, we just want to come in real quick and give you guys a little taste of some of the action that's coming up, some of the things that have happened in the world of sports. And certainly, as we all gather together, sports is certainly can be an integral part of that. So again, I'm Mr. Bennett, joined by my partners as always, Brother Shawnee, and the coach is in the house tonight. So again, good to see you, brothers, on this night. Our brother Dante, he's taking care of business. Yeah, so he's got that, got that family. I got some baking to do after this also. I got some sweet potato pies to bake, and I'm dropping my sweet potato pie cream cheesecake. So. If you guys were here, I definitely I give you a slice, but it was a big hit last year, so I gotta by popular demand they're asking for it again, so I gotta do my thing. So, but how you guys doing tonight, Brother Shawnee? What's going on with you?
Man, I'm busy. I'm doing good, man. We have a full house over here. Daughter had her friends and her two cousins over here, so they were there running around the house just because they didn't have no school. I had to go to work today. I work from home, and the little one, she's here. I'm like, I gotta find somebody to keep you company. So let's go get her cousins, and they've been running around the house ever since. I'm gonna take them home once I finish this show.
I heard that. Yeah. How you doing, Coach?
How y'all doing, man?
Doing all right, sir. Now you look like you like either the grill master or the turkey master or whatnot. So it seems like you do the fried turkey thing. What do you do, man? You got some skills, man. So what are you doing tomorrow?
I'll say this. Yes, I'm the grill master. However, when it comes to Thanksgiving, I don't have to lift a finger. I did volunteer to chop the onions and the celery and the green peppers. I was the sous chef today, actually. But my wife does everything. She loves doing it. The pies, the whole spread. She does everything Thanksgiving. I don't touch any. I just eat and sleep and watch some football. That's all I have to do.
That's what's up. Good situation to be in for sure. And so again, hopefully, folks will, certainly get out with your families and whatnot. That's what it's all about. And, just give thanks for that we could even be in this position to be able to share with the loved ones and even just to be here. So I'm just grateful to be here with you guys tonight. But let's kick it off and again talk about the wacky world of the NCAA again. So again, you got more upsets. Alabama losing again, and even then they still are 13th in the top 10. They do not want to let go of Alabama or Georgia. I don't care. They lose 5 games. They're going to find every way possible to keep Alabama relevant in the rankings. So it seems like it's a definitely. I think they're just being just outwardly blatant with the situation. But any thoughts from the weekend? Boise State. I think they held on. I think to win, right? I think that was a. Okay, but I think they held on to win. But so again, the current rankings again: Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, and Notre Dame. They are certainly in the top 5. Miami and Georgia certainly on 6 and 7. So they seem to be joining. But any surprises? Anything from the weekend that surprised you, Coach, regarding the college games?
Well, outside of the top, I guess the top 12. I'm not surprised, because now you get into the thick of the conference games. But I am surprised by Colorado's loss to Kansas. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah,
because it took them from 16, 17 all the way to 25. So, and Kansas plays. Who do they play this week? They play a top team this week, so they could have two upsets in a row. So it's interesting because the
I hear
weather
you.
has changed. It's a different football game.
Indeed, indeed. So again, just here showing you guys again top 25. So again, Colorado. They now they from what I understand, they still have a chance because they had all those teams that lost, right? I think there were certain teams that had to lose in order for them to still be relevant for their conference championship game. So I think they're still a live dog. I mean, but again, certainly that's certainly a game they'd love to have back. But so it's not quite over for them. But they're really at this point they're really going to have to run the table if they want to get a chance at trying to get into the dance. So Shawnee, what were your reflections from the weekend?
Well, I'm trying to look up. Basically, within the Big 12, Kansas now is basically a Grim Reaper. You don't teams that have something to play for, um, to attempt to get to the Big 12 title game, besides BYU because they was in a position they was able to afford a loss at the
Mm-hmm.
time. But
Mm-hmm.
Kansas, they first beat Iowa State. At the time, Iowa State was above Colorado. It
Right.
was BYU, Iowa State, Colorado. They beat Iowa State, knocked them out the Big 12 title game picture at the time being. The next week, they went and beat BYU, and then they just beat Colorado. Next week, they play Baylor. It's a non-ranked squad.
Yeah.
But they was like a Grim Reaper. But the main weapon, because, pretty much college football has always been about Ashton Genty. But their running back, I forget his name. Looking it up now. Uh, Devin Neal.
Mm-hmm.
He's up there too.
Yeah.
And he, he and that Kansas offensive line destroyed Colorado. They just destroyed them. I mean, Colorado had no answer to that dude. So yeah, you was mentioning Colorado's chances of getting to the Big 12 title game because basically they was always a game up. It was BYU. Like I said, at that time they only had one loss, but they still control their own fate.
Mm-hmm.
It was BYU, Colorado, and then everybody else. 'Cause at the time, Colorado only had two overall losses and one conference loss, but the teams behind them had two conference losses and three overall, something like that. It's just basically one game below them. Well,
Mm-hmm.
since Colorado lost, it put them in the midst of that log jam that was beneath them. So right now, the projected, as you can see, these is the top 25 in the projected playoffs. The team that is projected to represent the Big 12 is Arizona State, and you can see they ranked way number 16 currently. So when you going back to what I mentioned, several weeks ago, when you look at the college football playoff seeding, there's rankings like what we're looking at now, the top 25, but the seedings, and it just had teams going all over the place. Like I say, Arizona State, if they win the Big 12, they could be one of the top four seeds.
Right. Right.
So they're gonna be taking Iowa State spot because Iowa State Ohio State, they can't get a first round bye because right now it's Oregon. Oregon is leading the Big Ten, so if they probably will see each other in the Big Ten title game, and then they can potentially be Big Ten champs like that. But right now, Arizona State will be one of the four teams. You have SMU finally breaking into the playoffs. They're currently ranked, what's that?
Number 9.
Ninth. Let me blow up my screen. It's too small. But yeah, so it's just different now because this whole playoff system, which was determined before the college football season started, this is not like based on a committee. This was based on like the conference commission was not, hey, you the Power Four, your winner automatically gets a first round bye. So that's why this whole Big 12 thing is. But Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I would not be surprised because it was 12 teams now. I would not, because this is only a 2-year playoff system. I think they're going to do something extra.
You think they'll expand to 16 in a couple of years?
I think so. Ultimately, I believe they may do it slowly, do a slow trickle, maybe expand it to 14 teams and then ultimately go to 16. But I think this will be a 16-team playoff system. They're going to see how this goes for these 2 years. It's going to be a big money maker because of all these smaller programs I won't say smaller, just lesser known football programs compared to the usual powerhouses. But they're getting the chance to make it to the playoffs, and the fact that they're able to host these games at their home field. They are also power conference schools. They have a following themselves. So they going to come. Like, imagine if A&M will make it to the playoffs. A&M has a huge following. So once they see that money, they're going to expand it some more. It's going to allow other big Power 4 schools a chance to just experience, just like March Madness in basketball.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how far is this going to push into, I guess, the NFL? Because typically with the NCAA, their season basically ends like that January 5th or the 6th or the 7th or something like that first week in January. Now with these additional playoff games, could they be pushing well into the NFL schedule? And do you think that would be something that the NFL would balk, or you think that would impact NFL viewership? Because usually you had that January playoff says, and then the NFL ends that first weekend in February. So do you think that there'll be too much going on, or do you think it won't affect, especially if they go to 16 teams? Then that's going to be like four playoff games. So do you think that could impact things? Because typically NFL and college football, oftentimes they don't try to go head to head with each other. I know the NFL in December they're going to start showing Saturday games, but typically, again, most of the college regular season's over and people just waiting for their bowl games and they kind of schedule stuff outside of that. But what do you think the impact will be having more games that potentially can go into February in terms of with the college football competing with the NFL?
Well, I think the NFL is just going to be getting a taste of their own medicine when they currently go to the NBA. They coming in there just bogarting the NBA on Christmas. The NBA was not happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe they would start the season a little bit earlier. Still going to keep these 10 games regular season plus a conference title game. And if they move it a couple of weeks earlier to start earlier, they should still be able to.
Yeah. I'm not sure when I got to look up when the first playoff game will start, because I think those dates are going to be fixed regardless of the teams that are participating. I think those dates and venues are going to be set. So that can possibly be right there. Like, they could start at the same time as far as the regular season, and usually once bowl season gets here, the smaller bowls usually start like early December, correct,
early mid-December.
Yeah.
Then closer to the New Year's, maybe that December 31st or whatnot, is the first playoff game. Well, they just have, the playoff game be starting probably around the 20th of December. Bowl games will still be doing their thing. It'd be more of those, it's a rotation right now with college football playoffs as far as the bigger bowls, the Cotton Bowl, the Orange Bowl. It'd be some more included in there.
Right.
So those bowls they'll still probably represent, hey, this is the Peach Bowl. It's just not going to be part of the playoffs. So now that I think about it, they probably just keep it as is. It's just now the Peach Bowl was outside of the current football, the playoff rotation will be now included, and they'll just still keep on, just doing what they're currently doing.
Gotcha. And from what you understand, from what we know, I think all of the games in the playoff, they'll all be on regular television, or they look at the stream some?
I hope they be on
after that Tyson fight fiasco with Netflix. I don't think everybody's going to be a little cautious about putting these these important games in a streaming service. So I don't know how that's going to unless maybe
getting-
Amazon seem to figure it out, because again, their Thursday night games they seem to. But I don't know if Thursday night games overall, unless the matchup is really good, I don't know if the Thursday night game is garnering a ton of viewers anyway. Especially, I know the first couple years of it, some of those games weren't necessarily.
Yeah, I think they are now.
Marquee. Yeah, now they amped it up. So I'd be curious about what the numbers are, but unless it's on Amazon Prime, except Netflix, they certainly didn't look good coming out the gate for that fight. So I can't imagine college football playoffs or even NFL playoffs that certainly folks are definitely making sure that they get their act together during that time. But Coach, any other comments before we move on to the you were staying within the college ranks, but anything else on the college playoff system, or what you think could be some keys to watch as we get closer?
Just these last about 2 weeks left. It'd be interesting to see how the dynamics change within those top 12.
Yeah,
a loss could definitely take you out of the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see how if Boise State holds on, if Georgia moves back into the race.
Yeah,
and I think Georgia would really be a problem for some teams.
Oh, indeed.
So it's going to be interesting. Again, the weather's changing, so it's a different brand of football.
And on the flip side, I'm sorry, you got to go back to like 1989, 1990 before I give Notre Dame any credit. I don't care how far they go up. Notre Dame and Penn State, again, good regular season, whatnot, but they tend to be paper tigers when it comes to the big, especially going against an SEC team. So I know they're holding that 4 and 5 spot right now, but I'm not sure if any of those guys. You don't want to certainly have those guys so highly ranked and then getting blown out, against different competition. So again, those spots there, I'm not giving those guys a lot of credibility at this point. So they're gonna have to show me that they can, certainly be on primetime stage against the big team and see if they can, come away with the victory. So I'll definitely be watching that one. But I want to shift gears and staying within the college ranks. So again, there was an incident that happened. I know BMU. I know he was talking about this on one of the barbershop shows. So it seems like, there's been a lot of envy, a lot of naysayers when it came to Prime in Colorado. Nobody expected for them to have the record that they had. I know they have 3 losses now, but certainly most people were expecting 3 wins, 4 wins, 5-win season. They've had a very successful season, and again, this is only his second year. And certainly he's had to deal with a lot of the naysayers still. And there was an incident that happened certainly Saturday against in Kansas. And, just this vicious hit that, low, dirty hit that Shador, I'm trying to load it now, see if it'll come up. I don't know if we got anybody in the background who can pull up that slide. So I'm just going to play this. And, it was just hard to watch and just fortunate that he wasn't hurt from this play.
Yeah, the thing about that play, you can see his feet just.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would, stop the play at this point. But yeah, I mean, just, so do you guys think that folks are starting to take shots? I know last year with the Heisman leader at this point, I know they took shots at him in that Colorado State game, took him out of action for some time. You got Shador with that hit, which I don't know if that play was that play rejected from that game or not?
No.
No, so no ejection from the game.
I want to say they threw a flag but picked it up. So nothing.
Yeah, so
after neither.
Yeah, so I don't know, guy. I mean, I haven't seen it hit that bad in a very long time, and it's just fortunate. He must be made of rubber because I mean, I could easily see those MCL, ACL snapping. I mean, an inch to the left or to the right, and we could be talking about a very a bad situation, not just for the season, but possibly his career. And so, yeah. So, what do you guys think of that? I mean, do you think that folks are targeting these Colorado players, or it was bad, man. I'm just again fortunate he's okay.
Two things. The thing that saved him from a major injury is that his foot wasn't planted in the ground. That's
Mm-hmm.
what saved him. So when you get hit, your body is flexible enough to absorb that. Now, I look at it like this: if there was a white quarterback and you hit him low like that, you've been ejected. They do have a target on their back just because of who they are. In a sense, those hits are definitely illegal. He's already released the ball, so anything major after that, it's a flag and ejection. But he is who he is, so it's just unfortunate. But yeah, it's my doggy talking. So I'm
I
sorry.
hear you. He's weighing, dog's weighing in. All right, Shawnee, what'd you think about that? Do you think this is, are again, it's him, Travis? Are these guys being targeted? I know BMU talked about they missed a big pass interference call on Travis also in that game. So are they trying to, diminish their Heisman prospects, or is just teams just taking cheap shots here? What did you think of the play, and just what do you think just overall is just this hate on Colorado? Or is that being overblown?
Well, I think as far as Colorado is still getting attention. I just don't believe it's at the peak as it was last year because they was getting so much celebrities coming, saying something on the sidelines. You don't see a lot of that. You hear more about the play on the field for Colorado than celebrities that's standing on the sideline. As for the play, I was just looking at an article now that Sanders is actually downplaying the play. He was saying like he always kind of plays with his knees slightly bent. So when you saw that, the coach was mentioning how his foot it just kind of got off the ground. So, when the hit came below the knees, it just sent him, feet over head, which is a good thing compared to if it was planted, you would have seen, an ugly injury. But Sanders,
yeah, but not only that, the flip. He did like that sort of helicopter spin. He could have landed on his neck, on his head. There were just so many.
When you're getting hit that low, that's probably the best case scenario for the player getting hit because at least most likely you just land on your shoulders like Sanders did. You flipped upside down, but at least just land on your shoulders.
But even then, you got to land right because if you land on the side, that's a dislocated shoulder right there. There's so many different things that can go wrong.
But Sanders, he was downplaying it. He's saying because he keeps his legs bent, that help him just get a clean shot on the leg. Because you don't play with your legs planted. That's what I was just reading that from what Sanders was mentioning. So he was downplaying it. It was saying that I don't think anything happened. The player name is Dean Miller. That's the Kansas linebacker who did the hit, and nothing came. There was no bad, penalties or anything that came even after the game. There was none within the game, and to my knowledge, there have been none after the game. But he's been getting hit. Social media found him, and they was going after him. I don't, commend like social media folks just attacking people like that. But once people find you on social media, they just, I guess they feel like they have to say something on there. But yeah, definitely a dirty play. Glad it wasn't because that could potentially have been a career.
Exactly.
Because you look at what happened with Alex Smith when he got hit by a legit play when J.J. Watt broke his leg, but it was a clean play. But if you remember the road to recovery for Smith, his leg, even to this day, has a huge scar that's deformed a little bit because the way it broke. He had a complex type fracture, multiple fracture.
I saw it when they did it was like a 60 minutes or something they did on him, and he was showing his leg and all that. So it's a mirror. Yeah,
it could have been. It could have the way he was aimed at his leg. It could have been like that. I would have seen. You could have seen a multiple type fracture. I'm no doctor. I can't speak on, but just the target area that his hit was going at. It wasn't hitting like at no knee or whatnot. It was hitting directly towards that fibula.
Yeah.
You know, so and I think his upper body would have ultimately got the knee, which would have did. But yeah, it was it could have been a big time situation. But then again, like I say, that was just that play. As far as the game, Colorado could not stop the running back. I mean, that play was one thing. That's just one play out the game. But they could not stop that running back at all. Neal was just having a fit against their defense. I was like, damn, man, y'all just
Right. Yeah.
y'all couldn't
For
stop
sure. For sure. Well, Colorado, they play Oklahoma State on Friday. So, hopefully they can, get back on track and again
Oklahoma State. I just said
Oklahoma State, yeah. So give themselves a chance to get back in this dance here, and hopefully they can make some things happen. But again, hopefully those guys stay healthy. Certainly the rest of the way. Moving on to the NFL. So
Black Man, he mentioned he wanted to speak on it if he's up.
He's up here. Go ahead.
Well, he put on the private chat. Black Man, you there? Well, I guess he.
All right, please keep speaking. You just jump in, Black Man. BME, jump in anytime.
Y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I want to say real quick, like if you go back through the game, because I didn't want to be biased. So when you go back through the game, there were several plays, even when Shador took the sack and all the linemen started stomping on him, just stepping on him. Y'all remember that one?
The one where he kind of pushed. Well, he did kind of push the referee.
And he pushed the ref because dude, you don't see these dudes standing up over me, stepping on me while I'm on the ground. Like, are you serious? And then Travis went down. Travis had a wide open touchdown. He grabbed Travis by the collar, pulled Travis down. Travis looking at the referee like, dude, you're not going to call the. And last week showed me, bro, that they have something. I'm telling you, I don't care what nobody can say. They have a plan to make sure that these boys don't get where they're going because the referee last week when Dion went off and called a referee a punk, when the referee said, he said, hey, they're throwing bottles at my kids. He said, well, tell them to stop blowing kisses when they score.
Wow.
So, and Dion was like, you a punk. He don't need to be a referee. Why is he even in the game? It's a part of football. They're going to celebrate. I'm telling you that my boys will get hit in the head with bottles. So, I mean, that was last week. So, not even before when they played, who they beat, when they were throwing the tortillas on the field and shit.
That was Texas Tech, but that's what they do. Texas Tech, they do that. That's their home.
When they went to the bottles, when they started throwing the bottles, Dion was telling the refs, hey, they throwing bottles at my boys. The referee said, well, tell them to stop blowing kisses when they score.
Was that at the Kansas game or the Tech game?
No, that was at the game before. So I was like, okay, this is leading up to, like, there's no way these people want Travis to win that Heisman, bro. I don't care, man. I'm telling you. They do not want Travis to win that Heisman. They don't want Shador to be in the conversation for it. They want that team. They want that team to suffer a little bit. And you can see the refs are letting them that defense smack them, like they're not calling nothing.
Right. How much of this do you think is this purely on Prime, or do they have something against the players also?
I think it's purely on Prime because they think because I'm listening to these reporters. I'm listening to these people say, hey, Prime got these boys like they're with the gold chains and they're acting just like he acted when he played at Florida State, when he played in the league, like they're mimicking his lifestyle and blah blah blah, and they're acting like they're these superstar gangsters on the field, all this type of stuff, bro. And so what I'm saying is these people they're not going to allow. They don't want Dion to be, because Dion has the highest right now. He has the record for the highest port in the portal as far as bringing people over. I think in 93 players or something crazy. So my thing is, they say there's no way this black man can get 93 players, get a team that won one game. Then the first year in, they won 4, and now they're even projected to go to the playoffs or go to the Big 12 championship. They're not going to allow, because they know if that happens, Dion will be untouchable. Everybody will want him. He will be the top of the coaching people. Everybody's going to want him. LSU, FSU, all of them. Man, it's just his popularity is going to blow through the roof. And I think a lot of people don't want to see that.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. If he does go back to FSU, I mean, obviously that'd be the alma mater. But again, SEC with LSU or whatnot, it would be it'd be off the chain.
Can you imagine? I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let y'all have it. Can you imagine Dion coming out of the tunnel at Tiger Stadium and LSU with unlimited resources to recruit? Oh my God, bro! It just he will be man. It will be really bad, bro. It'll be bad for college sports. He will be the guy. Like,
well, I'm hoping this time he'll be like sort of Moses in the Red Sea, like bring some guys with him. You know what I mean? Like I think what he did at the HBCU, I think certainly that was good and brought a lot of attention. But you see when he left, the impact didn't last there. So I'm hoping if he can, elevate that, it will have some of these programs again looking at other coaches, because certainly on the D1 level, again, there's not a lot of black coaches there. So again, I'm hoping that he could have a lasting impact should he decide to stay. Now again, if the Cowboys do decide to pull that trigger and try to get both of them, whatever, then that may derail that. But I think he's good if he can stay certainly within the college ranks, and then put more visibility on potential coaches for these major programs. So I'm definitely looking forward to see if he can do that.
Yeah, and also even Shiloh. Take Shiloh too. When Shiloh make those big hits and he's hitting low, they're ejecting him or throwing the flag and trying to eject him. Mm-hmm. If that was Shiloh that made that play on their quarterback, he would have been ejected.
Yeah,
that's true. The only team I see Dion going to within the college ranks is Florida State. The only team. That will be the only team. That's the only team prime. LSU, nah. Florida State, I can see him going to Florida State.
And he may still go there, because the guy who was there prior with Jimbo Fisher, he went from Florida State to I guess an SEC team, right? So again, that could still be in the future as well. It could be Florida State's always been, except for Bowden, it's always seemed to be like a stepping stone to something else. So it's definitely not a final destination for sure.
Who's their current coach? I forgot. I think he's a good coach. His players.
Yeah, everybody left.
Yeah, they left. So he got to basically redo his recruiting. If I was prime, I would stay at Colorado. Colorado, basically, like I said, they won one game the season before he got there. They was desperate, but remember, Prime ended up. It's kind of like I don't know the 100% history behind it, because he ended up at an HBCU, and at the time, D1 schools, they didn't really believe that he was going to be a good coach. So all he was doing was coaching this high school, this basically, I don't want to say charter. What is true? Basically like a charter high school here in DFW.
Mm-hmm.
But he started a school, and they
so they didn't think he's the real deal when it comes to college football. So he went to an HBCU and changed things there while he was there at Jackson State. And can you remember his first year there? It was during the COVID year.
Yeah.
So you really couldn't get a good grasp on it. But then that next season, that's when SWAC was actually playing their football in the spring, because it was all screwed up at that time. But once stuff got back to normal, they went on to win some SWAC titles. But the Power 4 school, they wasn't looking at it. They didn't think he, could do it. And then when he was having success at JSU, they're like, oh, you at JSU, this is FCS school, you can't repeat this in the FBS school, so we just gonna, you go do whatever. Colorado, they was the one who was already in the valley. They were looking at what Prime was doing at Jackson State, and they saw the big picture. They saw the football coach. They saw what he could bring to the school, because they was not being talked about. And they signed him, basically promising him, hey man, we don't have this money right now for your contract, but we're going to get it and we're going to give it to you. So they stepped out on a limb for Prime. And he has returned. Students is coming back to the game. Alumni looking back at the game. Yeah. Even when they wasn't winning all their games last year, the excitement. And then this season, when they started winning, they getting sellout stadiums and all this. They going back to
the ticket prices are through the roof right now. You can't buy a ticket.
Exactly. So I'm like, they let this man come over there and just say, man, just do what you do to get us out this mud. and they let him have freedom and getting the celebrities. They enjoying what he's bringing there. And now if he can recruit players to come to Colorado to ultimately, because it was one quarterback.
They got the number one quarterback, I think.
Yeah, like I think he was ranked number 2 nationally as far as a player. He's going to Colorado.
Yeah,
you know. So, and he was the one who made his decision on the Pat McAfee show. So, if he can recruit these dudes, and you know he could do something in a transfer, he can ultimately like, okay, why I need to go to an LSU or Florida State or some SEC school when I'm doing a damn good job right here in Colorado, a school that nobody would, you know, Colorado hasn't really did anything since Rashawn Salam was there back in the early 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know.
Cordell Stewart, those guys.
Yeah, exactly. Cordell Stewart, yeah. So, if I was him, I just
stay put.
Stay put, because this team went out on a limb for you and gave you everything you asked for. It's working. It basically turned the school upside down. Oh, man, just whatever bowl game they ultimately go to, if they somehow just barely miss the playoffs, they're still going to go to a high bowl game.
Yeah.
Before the season started, we just wanted them to get bowl eligible.
Yeah.
Hell, you can go play in the Armed Forces Bowl a little bit, and, you know, up in Fort Worth and
Jiffy
you know.
Bowl.
But now they could possibly be in a New Year's Six Bowl.
Yeah.
And imagine just the fanfare that's going to be in Colorado. Oh, hell, man. I'll just probably stay where I'm at, man.
Absolutely. Good deal.
After this season, he'll be one of the highest paid coaches in college football.
And Colorado will pay him that gloriously.
Yeah, he's already getting $5 million. I think it'll go up to about 9, 10, maybe close to 10.
But you can forget that whole Cowboys thing.
Cowboys.
It keeps the news reels going. It keeps things going. But moving on to the NFL. So again, we're seeing certainly this year is one who's the most dysfunctional of the New York franchises, the Jets or the New York Giants. And certainly we're seeing here Saquon once again playing that song, "You're Gonna Miss Me When I'm Gone." So we just saw him play certainly the Rams. My man goes off 255 yards, had a 70-yard run and a 72-yard touchdown run. He's doing the backwards flips over players and whatnot, doing matrix style stuff. So I mean, he's the leading rusher in the NFL right now with 1,392 yards. Derrick Henry is right behind him with 1,325. So before I get into the games, I just want to ask you guys: is he? And I know Lamar is certainly having they had very impressive win against San Diego. I didn't think they would beat San Diego, so again, very impressive win going into San Diego and winning there. So who do you think is the MVP front runner right now? Is it Lamar still, or is it maybe has Saquon certainly into that conversation? And could we be looking at the first MVP since Adrian Peterson did it a few years ago?
Well, right now the current leader as far as the odds is Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson is right below him. I think Josh Allen is plus 150, Lamar is plus 250, and Saquon is plus 400. And so it's neck and neck. This game between the Ravens and the Eagles this coming weekend is going to be a huge game. My whole thing about Lamar and MVP is just his losses. Because compared to a Bills team that only has currently 2 losses, including a big win over an undefeated team at the time, Ravens got some ugly losses, a couple of them, So, but it's still like 5 games left in the season, so and you can see how close them two are with Allen and Jackson. Jackson still has a chance of getting an MVP. As far as Saquon, he's going to have to do record breaker. I mean, he's going to have to go over 2,000 yards. He's going to have to almost damn near probably break Eric Dickerson's record, because it's just so hard for a running back to MVP award in the NFL. Like I said, I thought last year a non-MVP should have won the award. That was Christian McCaffrey, because Lamar Jackson's number was not nowhere close to what it looking like now. And it was they just kept rotating amongst quarterbacks. It was Dak one week, He lost against the 49ers. Brock Purdy was the next front runner. He lost against the Ravens. Lamar Jackson became the front runner. He ultimately won it. And I thought last year should have been a non-QB to win that award. It's just that award just go to quarterbacks. So unfortunately, unless Saquon Barkley can break an NFL record,
which is not unlikely. I mean, 5 games left. He needs about 700 plus, about 750 yards. 780 yards would do it. So it's certainly well within the realm of possibility. If he has a big game, certainly another big game like he had last week, very possible. I thought Derrick Henry, I thought he was he was on a pace that just coasted 2,000 yards, and I think he certainly cooled off. He did have a good game against the Chargers, but Saquon is just playing on another level, and the Eagles, quite frankly, you can make an argument between them and the Lions, who's the best team in the NFC right now. And then, like you said, I mean, they're certainly, they have a game coming up in the next couple of weeks, so they'll be, battling it out for, supremacy there. So again, it's the Eagles, are right there in terms of, potential Super Bowl prospect and whatnot. So shout out to JT in-house. Jared Goff was going to be the MVP.
You see what you basically set out the path for Barkley in order to win it. He has to basically continue to go on and have a career year to do this. Compared to Lamar Jackson or even Josh Allen, they just quarterbacks. They touch the ball every single play, and right now that's just the voters.
Yeah, but I'm also looking just at the trends. Like I said, the Eagles, they're playing very well right now. Their line, certainly whatever issues they had in the second half of the season last year, they definitely seem to clean a lot of those up. And again, it just seems like, Saquon, he's free to do what he does there. And, so again, it's not, I don't see him, for example, having like a 30-yard effort against the Ravens. I just don't see that happening. So, so certainly there's certainly opportunity. So he needs about 110 yards, 120 yards a game from this game out. And, certainly it's definitely in the realm of possibility. So I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing it. And certainly someone I know, again, Peterson got close to breaking that AD record. But even then, I'm sorry, guys, I still got to go with Juice. 2,000 yards in a 14-game season. I don't think we'll ever see that again. So, I mean, I think that record, even though, you may get the more yards, you always got to put a little asterisk. Those 2 extra games certainly make a big difference. But I think OJ will always be, when you talk about 2,000 yards, I think OJ is the first person you're gonna take a look at. But I mean, the Giants, I mean, they let go Daniel Jones, so they made a decision at the beginning of the year. If you guys watch Hard Knocks, so they made a decision. They didn't want to bring Saquon back. They decided to stay with Jones. Now they dropped Jones. And Jones apparently is looking to get picked up by the Minnesota Vikings, who are certainly well in. So him leaving now, he's elevated his potential to certainly at least be on a playoff team, certainly going forward. And the Giants, they're just grasping straws at this point. So again, I don't know who's more dysfunctional. I know the talk here in the tri-state area, the Jets. Aaron Rodgers just came in and he's like the team obliterator. It seems like. In terms of, got the coaches fired, the head coach fired, the offense coordinator fired, and the GM got fired. So it's like everywhere Aaron Rodgers goes, he just is able to just implode a team. And now the Giants, again, they're they don't seem to be going anywhere. Malik Neighbors is flipping out on the sidelines and whatnot. He's certainly disappointed with the current state of affairs right now. So again, the talk in New York. If you listen to again the sports radio out here, no one is happy with either one of them at this point. But it's just a sad situation here. So fortunately, I'm a Steelers fan. So
but the Jets won. The quarterback's too old. First of all, he's too old. It is what it is. They need a younger guy. But of course, the season's going to. I don't see the Jets winning no more than 2 more games for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. The Giants, they probably the worst front office in the league. You make the worst draft picks. No way Daniel Jones, based off his proven record, because you can compare him with Justin Fields almost. His record is terrible. He hasn't had a winning season ever. And
Had them in the playoffs. They were in the playoffs.
Give
has
him
a playoff
big
win.
money like that. That was a fool's move.
Yeah, definitely
paid
paid too early. But
got a rookie like they had, like other teams did, and went from there. You give him all this money, then you let him go with 6 games remaining. It's like, what are you doing? That's a poor move. Then you let one of the top running backs go. Then he's having a career year. And like I always say, you need a running back. I don't give a damn. All you fans, y'all like quarterbacks. Quarterbacks ain't. You only got one Patrick Mahomes. We can see that. You need a running back because we've seen, just based off our last week's game, football is ugly in the fall. It's a whole different game. We just saw that game where it was a whiteout on TV and you couldn't even see the game, and who prevailed? The running backs, not the quarterbacks. So it's a whole different time of football. So I see them going down to the wire as far as the rushing title. Saquon may get it because Philadelphia sticks to the run. Baltimore, the offense coordinator, get caught up in the hype, want to pass the ball and do all that shit, and forget about Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is 260 pounds. He's going to get the ball 25 times on my team. I don't give a damn if he picks up 2 yards. That's 2 yards that we gain, but not everybody thinks like that. So Baltimore may lose another game or two. So
Indeed. Now, before I move on with the game of the week, I got you, Shawnee, since I know you're in that area. What is going on with your Texans, man? They up and down every week, man. What's going on?
I mean, it's just, I was looking at a stat. For whatever reason, the offense just can't get going in the second half. So a lot of people starting to get frustrated with the OC because he's not making the proper adjustments. They have a good defense, but their defense did show up against the lowly Titans last week. But I always say this when it comes to division games, because it's like that when the Texans play the Titans or when the Texans play the Colts, they always a close nail biter, damn near shootout. They just can't stop each other. Even Derrick Henry, when he was with the Titans, he'll run all over the Texans, but it's still like a field goal game, like a 30 plus field goal game towards the end of the game. And Derrick Henry, I think he had a couple of, maybe if not 200, 180 plus yard rushing games versus the Texans. So it wasn't surprising the way the Titans offense looked versus the Texans, but yeah, it's just the Texans offense really is what's the big talk of the town, especially with the OC. Because you have a second-year head coach, but people, you have second-year head coach, D'Amico Ryan's. You have a second-year offensive coordinator in Bobby Slovic, and then of course you got a second-year quarterback in C.J. Stroud. They have to grow together. And what is frustrating to me about many Houston team fans, because they do this, they would do that. That's why, if y'all remember when the season first started, especially if you watch ESPN, there was a lot of hype behind the Texans because of the way they was playing last year. I never really get into that because I'm like, man, this is second year. This whole unit is coming to play second year. I believe they're a good young team, but they still going to experience growing pains. It's just what this come to do. It just don't happen like, okay, you just make it. Now they're a whole lot better shape than right now than the Jacksonville Jaguars, who had the number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. But that team still, even though Lawrence is hurt right now, even when he was playing, you can look at that team and say they already plateaued. And they not winning the game. The Texans, you could tell you're a good young team. You need to clean some stuff up, and they would do that. But with the Houston fans down there, they will jump on the bandwagon and be full steam ahead when the team is going good. As soon as that team, whatever team it is, whether it's the Texans, the Rockets, the Astros, hit like a struggle point, man, next you know they want to get rid of everybody. It wouldn't give it like when the Texans. It was one year when the Texans went 14-4, and that was the year that they started off I think 12-0. Hell, they wore a Letterman's jacket. They wore a Letterman's jacket to New England, going against Tom Brady. They were feeling themselves. Tom Brady and the Patriots just waxed them. And they threw away the leather jacket. We ain't doing that no more. But they end up losing the next 4 games and still make the playoffs, but they went on a 4-game losing streak. Fast forward to the next season, because Matt Schaub was the quarterback. And they had high hopes. They won their first 2 games, went on to lose their next 14 straight. So the Houston fans were getting so pissed off at them. Hell, they went to Matt Schaub's house and tried to call him out in his front yard.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
I was like, oh, hell, man, y'all doing too much, man. Y'all, oh, man, I don't know how the hell, you would think, I guess, some players will have a more secluded area, but, I don't know. They were doing too much then. But, yeah, they just do that. So they already definitely looking at wanting to replace the OC. Some of them even call him Stroud a bust, even though his numbers, if you look at it from last year, are very close. It's just TD to interception ratio. And then some of them are starting to kind of see question DeMeco Ryans. I'm like, no, man.
Yeah, it's too early for that.
Exactly.
Too early for that. But JT asked in the chat about the game tomorrow, Chicago and Detroit. Honestly, I think it's going to be a closer game. Look, Chicago, even though the quarterback play has been inconsistent all year, they've lost 5 games by a total of 20 points. They've been in a lot of these games that they could have won at the end. Last play of the drive could have won the game. It's a divisional opponent. I think it'll be decided by less than a touchdown. I'll certainly pick Detroit, but I don't think that Chicago is just going to roll over and lay dead for them. So I got Detroit tomorrow by I'll give them 7 points, but I don't think it'll be a blowout. Shawnee, what do you think about that?
Well, what was who they playing against?
They playing the Bears. So Detroit and the Bears. Conference game, and again, they've been in a lot of these games. I mean, last minute stuff. They very easily could have been on a 7-4 team versus a 4-7 team at this point.
I think it'll be a closer game than what people get because Bears still have a decent defense. What I give credit for the Bears because ever since they got the new offensive coordinator, I believe he came from the Panthers. Mm-hmm. Caleb Williams has been improving because he started off low. Then his stock started to grow, and then it just fell out. It just fell off. Cause I think he wasn't throwing a touchdown like, I don't know, 3 games or something. But then when they got the new OC, you start seeing improvement again. It's a podcast, so it's 27-6 Detroit.
I'll take your spread, JT. I'll take those odds if you want.
I say this: Detroit has an offense that can just. It's like they're a snowball, man. It's like once they get going, it can be a 27-6 game. Yeah. So once they get going, man, it's
feeling himself. He feeling himself right now.
I mean, you watching them as close. They remind me of the Chiefs when. No, they kind of remind me at crossing over to the NBA, the Miami Heat years with LeBron.
Right.
It's like once they put that clamp on to start making you turn over the ball, they see they're just taking over. You gone.
Right.
And that's how Detroit is right now. They just like the Texans was able to stay with them because of the whole turnovers. But if they don't beat themselves and they start getting this roll going, oh hell, I think Chicago will give them a good game, but 27-6 game is not out the question for me.
We'll see. But again, less than a touchdown. That's my prediction. I'm sticking to it. Let's move to the game. Yeah. Let's get again the big game. Obviously, again we got the Battle of the Birds. Again the Eagles and the Ravens. You got again Saquon versus Derrick Henry. You got Lamar Jackson versus Jalen Hurts. So I mean, we could be talking about a potential Super Bowl matchup if Lamar can get over the hump. Certainly they're not that it's not out of the question that they can make it out of the That game is actually in Detroit.
Double point. Yeah, 27-6.
We'll see.
Go with it. 31-6. Yeah, it's over.
Now he's saying now he's about 31-6. Okay, we'll revisit. We'll revisit this. But yeah, I mean, obviously a big game here with, again, implications. I mean, obviously the Eagles, they're one game behind Detroit overall, so they're trying to go for the number 1 seed. And then again, certainly unfortunately, what my team's lost against the Browns, certainly even though the Steelers are still 1 game up, still that's, it tightens things certainly in the AFC North. In fact, for the first time, Hard Knocks, they're actually going to be doing a series of shows on the AFC North. So this is the first time that the Steelers are going to be on Hard Knocks. So it's going to be very interesting because I know it's really uncharacteristic of the Brunies to allow that kind of access to the football team. But, I'll certainly be interested in watching some of that action with NFL Hard Knocks. But who you liking in this game? I think, we could definitely be, like I said, these teams could very likely meet again in February. But who do you like, and what kind of score are you looking at? Go ahead, Coach. You can start first.
Man, I'm always go with Lamar and the Ravens, but both teams play in the cold weather.
And the Eagles are going to Baltimore. They'll be it's
I think
at
that's
Baltimore.
going to be a close game, maybe 2017, because both of them have decent defenses. But Philadelphia took a big hit from one of their starters on defense. He's out for the season. Brandon Graham, I think he's out for the season. So that's going to be some adjustments there. But, if Baltimore doesn't run the ball at least 20, 25 times, then they're in for a long day. But I do get an edge, 2017, Baltimore, because they need this win. This is a must-win game right here. It's a must-win game.
Shawnee, who you got?
I'm going to give the edge to the Eagles. I would have really definitely given the flat-out win to the Eagles if they would have had Devontae Smith, because the Ravens secondary is just suspect. They can stop the run, but they damn sure can't stop the pass. And for whatever reason, they hold fourth quarter like Chargers was in that game versus the Rams, but what's his name? Quentin Johnston. I put like some message on Facebook. I'm like, he needs to go catch some jug machines for a while.
Yeah, that was. You could tell right there. That took all the air when he dropped that ball. That took all the air out, and it just everybody's heart just sank.
I think that play would have went at least.
It would have went.
yards.
Yeah, you could have went the distance.
And matter of fact, he dropped some more. He dropped one. Well, look like he'd been out of bounds. But I'm like, man, just catch it so you get your confidence back. And then he dropped the next one. And if you remember seeing him after he dropped that third pass, you could see it in his face. He was questioning everything. And I was like, yeah. And ultimately, of course, Chargers don't lose that game. But with the Eagles, Eagles is just a better team all around than the Ravens because they have a passing attack. You already know the running attack. Same thing with you got 2 mobile quarterbacks. So basically on offense, it's kind of a push, but I give the advantage to the Eagles' defense because, like I say, the Ravens, they could stop the run, but they held stopping the pass. And I think the Eagles are just more balanced in their defensive game. And plus, they hot right now. They've been playing some good football lately. If the Ravens beat them, it's going to be a close game. But I'm gonna go Eagles, something like a 24-14.
Wow, you give them 10 points.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm liking the Eagles also. One, I need to, so I need the Eagles to do me a solid. Even though I know we played them later on, so I definitely need them to do me one. Here. So again, I like the Eagles also. I could certainly see like a 27-23 or 27-24 type contest. I think, certainly they're, next to Detroit, I think they're probably the most balanced team in the NFL at this point. And, again, it's going to be interesting because, again, and they need this game also, again, just to keep pace with Detroit. And again, that division is going to go down to the wire. But I love the matchup. I love seeing this game featuring again certainly the next generation quarterbacks, but again the running backs, and just putting the attention back on the running game. Hopefully, these NFL teams are looking and say, look, we need to start putting a bigger priority, especially at this time of year, into the running game and into the running backs, and you're going to see two of the best in the NFL going at it. And so this is just, I think this will be a great contest overall, one of the best games of the year. And again, depending on how it goes, you may see these guys again, especially if the Ravens win the game, then you may see this game down the line. So definitely looking forward to that. And
well, one question I have for you, Mr. Bennett.
Yes, sir.
I want to know what your thought is on this Snow Bowl. Like, why did you think how did the Steelers end up just losing to the Browns and made Jameis and crew just? Because what's his name? Because all the talk people was saying T.J. Watt was going to be defensive player of the year, and
yeah,
I think that what's his name, Garrett, that fired him up.
Definitely put a fire in his belly for sure, and he wreaked havoc in the first half. Absolutely,
I mean, first half alone, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now he definitely did some damage. We certainly got going in the second half. Now again, I'm not sure if they want to continue with this swapping out Justin for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, right now you'll know what it's predictable once you see Fields and okay, it's going to be a run and it's just
exactly. Yeah. But I mean, the game was we had to leave with 4 minutes left, and we had the ball. We couldn't run out we just couldn't run out the clock. And again, apparently we couldn't stop those guys. Major gaps on defense. So I think certainly the last couple of weeks there's definitely been some gaps there. But we get Highsmith, who's our other edge rusher. He should be back for this game against the Bengals. So hopefully we can get back on it. But yeah, it's certainly no question it levels the field. The only thing I wish they got back was that Fields did have that opportunity to throw the touchdown in the end zone. It's my man. I don't know if he was just not looking for it, but they just weren't connected. Pickens on that pass he threw in the end zone, and that definitely would have put some distance there between us. But hey, tight game. But in a lot of ways, I was happy for Jameis because I know he's been sort of ridiculed over the course of his career. Have big games and whatnot, and certainly that was a big one. And I think that certainly if things don't go well with Watson, look, if he can stick around and find a home there, good for him. So it was almost like one of those games. Yeah, obviously. It's a game that you want, but I actually felt kind of good for Jameis, and certainly the way he represented himself after the game. So I'm not smarting too much on that one, but definitely that should have been one we should have been able to run out the clock on that. Again, to Ferg's point, the ability to run the game and eat up that clock. That's something that we're not able to do. And I actually thought they did too much, focusing on giving the ball to Jaylen Warren too much in this game, and not giving it to Najee to see if he could chew up some clock there. So, but I think you'll see the best in the running game certainly this weekend, and so again, definitely looking forward to that. And if any one of those guys goes off, then I think they have a 150-yard plus game or whatever. Then I think 2K is certainly in reach for one of those guys should they get there. But I don't see those guys being not both of those guys limit to under 100 yards. I just don't see it in this game.
Well,
especially
I got
from
Barkley in one fantasy league and Henry in my other fantasy league. So somebody give me some points.
Somebody gonna give
you can't lose. You can't lose.
Now let's be honest. Even with Justin Fields coming in for those plays, that has no impact on the outcome of the game. It was just because New Orleans has been doing it for years, bringing in somebody. And teams do it when they run the Wildcat play,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all they're going to do with him. Teams know that for the most part he's going to run the ball, but yeah, it didn't have no impact. It was just when that weather changed. Like I say, when that weather changed, it's a whole different game. And the weather changed.
Well, then to the point, and again, bringing him in, and in those conditions, he's obviously not going to have the speed, or it's going to really level out. So it's really it's going to be one at the line.
But that type of weather favors the offense. It favors the runner, not the defender, because the runner knows what he's going to do. The defender has to sort of balance it out and try to figure it out. But I just think when it comes down to it, if you notice, Pittsburgh was still trying to pass the ball a lot instead
Well,
of
yeah, like I said, the pass it from Fields to Pickens in the end zone. I mean, I thought it was there. It just they just disconnected, or he couldn't track the ball or whatever. It meant that might have been because of the weather. He couldn't see it, but that was an opportunity right there for them to get some distance. But look, they were down 10, certainly going to the second half like that. They came back. They got the lead, and they had the ball with less than 4 minutes, but they just couldn't finish it off. So hopefully they'll have better success in Cincinnati this weekend. But switching gears, I guess our final topic of the evening. So we want to talk a little NBA. And so apparently, in an interest to draw interest to arguably the weakest All-Star experience out of all the major sports. I can't say that. I mean, NFL Pro Bowl has been trashed for years, so I can't even go that far. But at least with the NBA, you still got the 3-point contest, you still got the dunk contest, which hasn't been great over the years, but certainly there have been some memorable ones over the years. And I still think they should do something where they get some of these local street guys in some of these leagues and have a team sponsor some guys to go in for these dunk contests and whatnot and help those guys make some money. I still like that idea of getting some of these guys to compete for that. But apparently they're going to sort of like a pickup game style format. So Shawnee, he put me onto this shortly before we got on tonight. So I think it's going to be 4 teams. 3 of them are going to be current NBA All-Stars, and then the other team is going to be some rising stars. So I guess these are like rookies or first or second year players. Mm-hmm. And I guess they're going to play basically 4 games up to 30 points, I believe, 30 or 40 points. First team to 40.
The semifinal games will be up to 40 points, and then the final game will be 25 points. Right.
So, I mean, obviously folks aren't liking 200-point games, 200 to 190 games where everybody just let the other team score whenever they want to. So is it time to, again, just to retire this whole idea of All-Star Weekend? I mean, it's not Jordan versus Dominique in the 80s or those sort of things, but what NBA, they're trying to, is the thrill is gone.
No, come on, man. Let's be honest. I don't know what people think about when they think about sports. The All-Star game was always an exposition game. It wasn't a game where they were going to go out and play tough defense. It's the All-Star. You just seeing the All-Stars showcase talent. It wasn't a game where you was going to just play defense. Now, maybe in the fourth quarter, I think if they incentivized quarters, I think you'll see a different level of play. You put the money based on quarters. You know what I'm saying? You win the first quarter, you get 20,000, and you win quarters. I think it'll change it. But trying to try all these different little formats, take the dunking contest back to Dominique and Mike. You get out there, you get your best dunks, the top 4 advance, you advance that way. And that's it. All this old changing around for the fan, it'll never be good enough for the people who don't really play basketball. So take that shit back to the old school way. You'll never.
Well, my thing is, I don't think this has anything to do with the fans. I was listening to some commentary early on. I think I agree with it. The players are the ones who are messing this up. You know what I mean?
How they messing it up? They just playing with.
They don't want to put any effort out there.
Right. It's never been a game where they played effort.
I don't know. Come on, we go back to the 80s and 90s, and some of those games they play.
Fourth quarter, yes, it picks up, but it wasn't. But that's the fourth quarter. The rest of the game, people just watching Jordan dunk and people.
But now, no quarter's worth watching. What quarter now? It's like 200 to 186 with 3 minutes left in the game. I mean, nobody's playing hard.
I'm not gonna get out. I mean, I just don't see why it's a big deal. That just be happy to watch them and see everybody together and take pictures. Make their ass take pictures with everybody. Something, but. I wouldn't injure myself either. I'd go out there and loaf around.
You know what? At this point, I would say, make it a celebrity game. You get Kevin Hart out there, and you get some guys to play like they do with the celebrity softball game or something like that. You get some of the celebrities out there or something.
They got a celebrity game.
Usually the All-Star game is on a Sunday. The celebrity game, I think, is on a Friday. Because
Friday,
Saturday is the 3-point and the dunk contest and the skills contest and all that. And then the game is Sunday, so they do have a celebrity game.
I'm saying
But
to mix it up, like get celebrities playing with the players or something like that.
well,
No.
basically the whole All-Star game was a show put on for the fans. So if and as far as the draw is still there. Like if the All-Star game is coming to your, especially when it came to Houston. Houston is already known, they have a nightlife there. So when the All-Star game or when it goes to Atlanta, people, especially in our community, they definitely go there and they enjoy all the festivities. So it's real big, in our community as far as just what the game will bring, the nightlife that comes with it and all that. So the game was always for the fans. The whole weekend was for the fans. And then, you had like a lot of time it was Saturday was really the most, because the slam dunk contest was the huge nightcap for Saturday. Everybody was looking forward to that. And now you have, and it was always the bigger name of the sport participating in the slam dunk contest.
And that's the difference.
And it really fell off when LeBron.
He didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it because LeBron is not a fancy dunker. He's just a power dunker in the game. But he doesn't do all that fancy. So he'll know he's so conscious of his image, he'll embarrass himself out there. So he never partake in the dunk contest. Well, that just follows suit with other
players,
star players, and then you got the game, moving from more of a 3-point game. Now it's really the cream of the crop of the NBA weekend. It's a 3-point contest.
Yeah.
Cause that's legit. Shooting is shooting. As long as they don't screw up putting them with a ball, placements, all that, that's going to be the same regardless. And even when they have this, the Battle of the Sexes 3-pointer, that was a success. Mm-hmm. So that's all. If they just leave that alone, that's good. But with Sandra, I agree with you, Mr. Ben. They should get some. Right now, the big names are not doing it, and then when they do participate, whoever ultimately participates, the lack of creativity is there. They keep missing their dunks, so it definitely just kills the whole momentum of the thing. So you go get them to sponsor these street dunkers who are doing these crazy dunks. They would definitely bring, some excitement back to the. You may not know their name per se, but if you associate them with an already, established all-star, and then just let their dunks be the show, it will be, I think it will work. It's definitely be better than what they're having now.
But fella, yes, it sounds good as a fan, but I'm telling you, even the NBA players that are in the contest, you see them doing the games, they got the high-flying dunks. They got all that. When that focus is on you and you got to get out there and get your best dunk in, it's like they tighten up. Some of the best dunkers in the history of basketball were great during the season, dunking, fast break. But when they got in that dunk contest, it's like the pressure just got to them. They've always done that. It's only a few, the ones that you see sort of rise to the top, that are the ones that really do well in the dunk contest. Once that pressure's on you and all the eyes in the stadium are looking at you, a lot of guys just can't handle that pressure. So,
well, think about it now. The dunk contest participants are just basically not lower on the roster, but like midway on their respective team roster. So
average
because
like
the big names used to partake in it, unless it was like who was the Orlando, Aaron Gordon and
Gordon and Levine.
They weren't huge names. They were known if you followed the game.
Yeah.
They wasn't big names. They just put on a hell of a show. But going back to the game itself, the All-Star game, I think Mr. Ben, I think that clip I sent you, they brought up a point. Like these same players play harder in
summer league,
in summer league exhibition games than they do in the All-Star. They play harder in that. So, the game it was just getting embarrassing. It was just, I'll tell you don't play no defense, but you got to do something. But basically now they just shooting threes or doing easy dunks, and everybody's just looking at each other.
Yeah.
And they doing that the whole game. They're like, okay. Now they had that one exception unfortunately, because they was doing it for Kobe, and that was a close game because they was playing for something else. But
Yeah.
okay, now they back to regular schedule programming.
Yeah.
They just and out of all the leagues, it's just the NBA with this whole format change. They are trying to do something because the players are the one that keeps basically putting them behind the eight ball as far as their lack of effort.
Right.
They trying to do this NBA Cup because the players don't want to participate in regular season games. They have to put in a stipulation for you to win an MVP. You have to play at least 65 games because dudes are not playing in the regular season and all this, sitting out. And now they're trying to change. They don't want to do this, but they're trying to keep some type of interest in the All-Star game because the players are just taking more than any other American sport right now. The NBA players, you're talking about they are just sabotaging their own league because they getting this big media contract money.
Yeah.
The players
Well,
listen, I'm gonna tell you who sabotaged the league. Greg Popovich. He did that. He started resting players. He started resting his big three. He started that. So players just follow suit. When Kawhi got hurt, they was pressuring him to come back. He got hurt again. Greg Popovich, he was resting players. He started that, and players just understood that. And it's the league's fault because they just follow suit. I think I agree. I think we mentioned this before with the dunk contest. Whatever city they go to, get some of those top dunkers, have a little dunk contest a couple of months prior to. It's okay, you take the top 2 or 3 from your city. Now you're going to be in the All-Star weekend. Come out here, give us your best dunks, give you an opportunity to bring some light to yourself and give them sort of you give them a nice reward and let them be a little spokesperson for that city for the rest of the season. I think that'll bring a little bit more interest because there's a lot of guys that don't play NBA at all. They can jump over 2 cars and damn Empire State Building, but we don't get those guys. So I think something like that. But as far as the game, I'm not going to go out here and twist my ankle and be out for the next 9 games and we in first place. I'm going to jog up and down the field, court, shoot my 3-pointers, and throw a couple alley-oops, score 6 points, get my little $20,000 and walk off. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
But as far as the game itself, I think we talked about this over the summer. Maybe they should go to an international format, U.S. versus the world. Have all those international guys. I mean, the team is they're drafting. The first top 6 draft picks this year were all foreign-born players. So you get the best foreign team available versus the best American team, and try that. That may be something worth exploring.
You see why high up here, man. We always talking about the NBA All-Star game, and he got to throw a shot at the Cowboys. I don't be trying to bring up the Cowboys because they get talked about enough, and then boys just want to go to a different sport and still throw us underneath the trash can. I'm like,
got you. Hey, I had one question for you as we wind up. Well, 2 questions for you guys before we close out the show. Shawnee, you talked about Houston sports. Who is in your opinion, on the Mount Rushmore of Houston professional sports?
Oh, Keem Olajuwon, Warren Moon, Jose Altuve. I can't say James Harden. It's basically Olajuwon when it comes to the Rockets. Man, this 4th one is tough.
Not Earl Campbell or from Love You Blue and all that from back in the day?
It may be Earl. But there were some other names because you go to basketball, because he had Calvin Murphy. I guess I'll just throw in, damn, who will be that 4th? I mean, I feel like Earl Campbell will be just by default, but I know for sure them other 3 names between Olajuwon, Warren Moon, and Altuve. Oh yeah, they 3. They on there. But that 4th one, I guess by default it has to be Earl Campbell. I just cannot think. It could have been Deshaun Watson if everything fell into place, but you know the rest of it. So maybe by default Earl Campbell, but I have a feeling there's another name out there. Oh, Cynthia Cooper. I knew it was somebody else out there. I knew it was Cynthia Cooper. Oh hell. Cynthia Cooper basically, I think even still in the WNBA, she is the Michael Jordan of the WNBA.
Yeah.
What she did with them comments that 4 straight times. Oh hell. Oh yeah, it's Cynthia Cooper.
Gotcha. Tony Dorsett, he played for the he played for the Cowboys, not Houston.
Tony Dorsett is no foot, no Houston.
All right, last question. Back to the NBA. Your favorite dunk contest of all time?
Contest or dunk contest?
Contest.
Oh, because I about to say it's no brainer of been Vince Carter, but it was a good show between him versus Steve Francis. Because Steve Francis was doing.
It was nice.
I got to go back because I was just young, so I don't remember in live action between Dominique and Jordan. It has to be probably them or the Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine. Because they was going back and forth.
That was mean. No question.
Going back and forth.
All right, Coach. What you got? You going all the way back. I can see how your mind racing right now. You going back to favorite contest of all time.
If I'm gonna go favorite, I'm gonna go with Spud Webb. Spud Webb, man. Spud Webb took it by storm.
That was nice. Spud versus Dominique in the finals. Absolutely.
Was dunking everything 360. So guy under 6 foot
5'7", 5 foot 7,
yeah,
5'6", 5'7". Yeah,
I give it to Spud, man. It's Atlanta Giants. He came out victorious, man, and nobody saw this during the regular season. I didn't really see him doing all that during the regular season, but when he came out that day, he was high, man.
I still remember the reactions of the players, like Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing. They were no one could believe that was going on.
He saved us guys under 6 foot, man. We've been the kings ever since. So,
yeah.
Shout out to Spud, man.
Yeah, I was going. Well, y'all took two of my favorite. I mean, certainly the Gordon LaVine is certainly right up there with one of the best of all time. Spud is probably my favorite moments from it. So I guess I'm gonna have to go with the battle in Chicago, Michael Jordan versus Dominique. However, I'll put a caveat on that. I don't care what anybody says. Dominique won that slam dunk contest. Okay.
Yeah.
Not just one player. We're talking about contest. So Tracy against who did he go up
against? Houston. No, it wouldn't be Tracy.
Oh, in terms of all time Houston sports figures.
He was always injured. He could have because he played.
He got a championship. I'm thinking to be on that list. I would think you'd have to have a championship in there. Somewhere,
except
something.
Except Warren Moon, but he was just so good as a quarterback for the Oilers.
Yeah,
McGrady, he was just injured too much.
Right, but I mean, I may have picked because Warren he didn't have all that play. I might pick Earl over Warren in terms of if you're talking about a football player. And again that love you blue time back in the day.
Well, the reason I put Warren because they had a chance like that Oilers team, they had a chance to be a Super Bowl winner.
Same here. Look, that Houston Oilers team went to back-to-back AFC championship games. They lost twice to the Steelers, 78 and 79. So they were right there, knocking on the door, getting there. But the Steelers, man, the 70 Steelers, they couldn't get past.
I mean, I guess you can replace the two. It's just I just remember that game where they had that. Go back to painful memories now. That game where they was up 35-3 versus Buffalo. That team was a team that could have won the Super Bowl. They had an offense like no other. Damn, it looked like the 2000 Rams with that run and shoot. When they had the Rams with the greatest show on turf, that run and shoot was like that. And
that's the problem. That was the kid because everyone was tired because you kept your defense on the field for 35 minutes. That's the thing. Run some clock, run some time off, but that's the problem, man.
If you got 35-3, man, ain't no way.
For that reason alone, those Steeler games, was a different story. But I mean, that in and of itself is almost like unforgivable. That Moon lost that game. I can't get past that one. But yes, Dominique definitely won that slam dunk contest. They gave it to Jordan because he was in his hometown. And his last dunk was supposed to be from the free throw line. His foot was 1 foot inside the line and whatnot. So that shouldn't even But they gave him a 50 for that dunk. So again, you knew that the deck was loaded, and certainly they gave it to him. But in any event, guys, again, thank you once again. So again, to Why High, to What We Know Podcast, Catellia, always in the building, Braxton, the Snake Fiend, El Cheapo, certainly thanks for being with us tonight. And, certainly Lost in Translation, as always, appreciate you, brother, being back, and good to have you back in these spaces as well. BMU, thank you also for stopping through tonight, sharing your perspectives on Colorado. Yeah. And Joshua Jones, haven't heard from you for a long time. So he wants Texas to go back to Mexico. So I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. But certainly thank you for making your presence felt here as well. And again, certainly for everyone who follows us, we really appreciate you guys being with us tonight. Certainly we're praying that you guys have a blessed Thanksgiving with your families and whatnot. Eat well. Again, I got to get here, and I got to bake these sweet potato pies tonight. So I'm about to get in and do my thing and get ready for tomorrow. My wife. So only one of us can be in the kitchen at one time. That's the rule. So I get the kitchen tonight. My wife gets it tomorrow morning. And so she does her baked mac and cheese. She does all her stuff and whatnot. But the thing is, we cannot coexist in the kitchen at the same time. That's one of the secrets to our 28 years of being together. Don't be in the kitchen at the same time, unless we're doing a little hanky panky or something like that. We can't be in the kitchen, not cooking anyway.
Yeah, I'm the sous chef. I chopped up all the vegetables. I did my part. I get the turkey out. I did my part. I might even wash some dishes, but my wife to take care of everything.
That's all I do is wash dishes.
There you go.
I can't do it.
And Kataria saying she loves that green shirt. I see those biceps. Give us a bicep shot, brother. I know you in the gym. I know you do. I know you working out, man. Come on, give us a bicep, man. One.
My stuff say cloak. I just work out, but I do not flaunt.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. But again, certainly for both of you guys, it's always been a pleasure, sharing the platform with you guys. It's been a lot of fun. And certainly with everything going on, it's good to kind of decompress a little bit and talk about the sports game and what the games have to offer. So really appreciate this. So again, wishing you guys enjoy with your families and whatnot. Everybody stay safe, be blessed. And definitely looking forward to seeing you guys next week. So for everyone, for myself, Shawnee, the coach, have a blessed Thanksgiving. Have a great week. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
All right, guys, another one in the books. Another great episode on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Listen, we're doing the thing over here. So, guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. Also, if you want to donate to the channel, which helps the channel, hit your boy Cash App. It's scrolling right here, right there, at the bottom of the screen, and support the channel. But we're happy that you're here, and we look forward to seeing you on every episode. So hit the notification button so you know when we go live. Thank you again, guys, for watching. We out.